Acho, who are you to speak for black people? I didn't make myself the spokesperson for black people.
Right.
I just started talking and people chose to listen. I didn't.
Why would that be a problem, you think, when people say that? Because I've heard people say that, like, you can't speak for us. Like, what does that even
I think,
mean?
again, I think
as if you're not us.
I think people are conflating culture and color. The dilemma in America that we're subject to is black based on the color, not exclusively black based on the culture. When I get pulled over by a cop, it's not, oh, you're Nigerian.
Right.
You look black. I'm 6'2", 240 and black.
Right.
You feel me? So
Right.
the dilemma, the mainstay of the dilemma in America, modern day, is predicated upon the color, not necessarily the culture. But
Right.
when people are saying you're not one of us, they're talking about the culture.
Right. Yep.
But the discrimination in America is based upon the color before you ever know the culture.
Damn right.
So I think a lot of people are conflating two things.
Peace, you know who this is. And family, you just saw that clip. That's a clip that Tariq just put in front of this video. A video I have not watched. I just watched that clip and I'm like, Emmanuel Acho was, I'm not even going to say 100, he was 99.7% right. The only thing he got wrong was he saying in modern times. That's not how it is in just modern times. That's how it is since day one. It's always been that way. America has always been a race-first country. Black people in America's consciousness, group consciousness, has always been racial, purely racial. There's never been a time when somebody like you wouldn't have been considered one of our people. So I rewinded this a little bit. I want to do this live. I want to see what is Tariq going to say to try to debunk that we all know to be empirically true. I want to see that. So I might have to fast forward a little bit because he might not start talking about it until like, what, the 20-minute mark or whatever? I don't know. But I want to see what Tariq is going to say in response to this. Because I can't believe that he would even play this clip. There's no black person in America with two brain cells to rub together, born and raised in America, a descendant of enslaved Africans in the United States, who would hear what he said and think he said anything wrong. But we're going to play and we're going to get into this.
Two things.
Get it together. Let me share this joint. Hey, what's up, man? Y'all come on through. It's Halo. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a lot to talk about. First thing I want to talk about, family. Y'all know Emmanuel Acho. How do you pronounce his name? The former football player. Who did he play for? Who did Emmanuel Acho play for? I know him and his brother both played for the NFL. But he's a commentator now. I think is he on ESPN? He's on something. But Emmanuel Acho is Nigerian. And he was doing an interview. He was with Godfrey was there, and that's our brother. Godfrey's Nigerian too, but Godfrey is a rider. I like Godfrey. And there was another Nigerian.
Look at that. Because you like Godfrey, he's a quote-unquote rider. So Godfrey is doing something that you would be considered tether behavior, but Godfrey gets a pass because he's a rider. Because you said so. So he's doing tether behavior, but he's still labeled a rider because you know Godfrey personally and you like him. And people going to go for that. But we're going to continue on.
Gentleman there. And Emmanuel Acho, he was kind of complaining. He was like, well, there are people saying that they don't want us. They don't want me, him speaking of himself, speaking for the black community. He shouldn't, they're saying I shouldn't speak for black Americans. And, I feel a certain way about that. And, why, if a police pull me over, they're not going to ask if I'm Nigerian or whoop-de-whoop, the whole same old trope. And then he said something to the effect of, well, it's not.
That's true. You keep saying, you said the same old trope. Y'all do the same old tropes. And y'all stuff be tired and not true. Y'all rhetoric is empty and dead. What he said is 110% true. That's always been true since day one in America. There's never been a time in America what he said about the police pulling him over not being true. That talking point was literally started by black Americans, native black Americans, trying to convince black immigrants that we are all one people. Every black immigrant has gotten an unsolicited speech by a native black American explaining to him that, hey, we in America now. So all that culture, ethnic, nationality stuff, tribal, whatever, that's dead. It's just about race. It's just about color. Because if the Ku Klux Klan come through, they just gonna kill us all. They ain't asking no questions. The police come through, they not asking no questions. That's literally a talking point invented by black people in America themselves.
Not that I'm trying to be a spokesperson. You know, when I talk, people just happen to listen. And they were kind of acting confused, like we're all black and we all experience this, and so why shouldn't we, non-black Americans, well, we're from immigrant backgrounds, why shouldn't we be able to speak for the black community? Well, here's the thing. Foundational black Americans are justified in rejecting non-FBAs like Emmanuel Acho and other continental Africans and Caribbeans by acting as spokespersons for foundational black Americans.
Foundational Black American is a hate group. Second, if we talking about Native Black Americans, since when? Explain to me since when? Because that has never been the case in our entire history. Like going back from Marcus Garvey to Barack Obama now. When have people of black immigrant ancestry not been allowed to be our spokesman? They've pretty much been our main leadership for like the last 100 years. Like Barack Obama is literally the most accomplished black man, not just black man, but accomplished black person in American history. He is literally the most beloved, most famous black person right now in America. Nobody got a bigger following and got a bigger voice in black America than Barack Obama. Kamala Harris, the most accomplished black woman in American history. Currently, right now, the Democratic frontrunner for the presidential nomination in 2028 solely based on black support. Kamala Harris basically has no support nowhere else except black people. And that she has so much support among black people that she is the Democratic nominee's frontrunner by a long shot, by a wide margin. Excuse me. So, since when? Since when? But I'm going to let you continue to try to explain yourself.
We are correct in saying no. We don't want outsiders representing us. That's not xenophobic. That's not mean spirited.
There is no black outsider. Like, you're not explaining. How is he a black outsider? Like, what he just said is the truth. The black identity is purely racial. Native black Americans enforce that themselves on black immigrants. Like, you do know that white people and native black people work to work hand in hand in black erasure, black immigrant erasure. We the ones who can constantly compelling people to assimilate, constantly on people's back to assimilate and understand that you're in America now. You're just black, just like us. Yeah, you may be from somewhere else. You may have some culture, whatever. You can celebrate that. That's cool. We ain't got no problem with that. But just remember, you black just like us first and foremost. So all that other stuff don't really matter in the final equation. That's us doing that to them. So if we do that to them, it's only right that they have a right to speak in the community, which they do all the time. That's why they have been, again, our leadership. There is literally no movement in the last 100 years you can name, from the Harlem Renaissance to the Civil Rights Movement, to the Civil Rights era, to the Black Power era, to the Black Lives Matter era. I mean, Black Lives Matter movement. To what else? The Negro Baseball League. To Black History Month. To nothing. There's nothing you can name that they were not our leaders and they were not in the forefront, and they wasn't speaking for us.
That
Like, if you're mad about that, then you just mad about that. And if you want to change that, you would communicate that to black people in America, not the black immigrant. Because again, it's black people, the majority, Native Black Americans, who are the ones enforcing that, pushing that. So you would have to get them to change. Black immigrants don't come to America with that mind state. That mind state is something that they eventually grow to understand, or black people are the ones communicating that to them. So again, I don't get it. If you have a problem with it, if you and your FBA goofballs have a problem with it, y'all got to take that up with your own community.
protective because no other groups let us go in and just speak for them in their internal politics. They don't.
Exactly, because other groups don't operate on a race consciousness in their own countries, in their own homeland, or in their own little groups or they enclaves in America. It doesn't work like that. It has always been like that. So it's not like this is something unfair. This is rules that black people put down themselves. Again, who started that? Who pumps race consciousness? Who's the one who allows other people's in their space? Who does that? Are black people in America being forced to do that, or are they just doing that on their own accord?
Let's do that. Yeah. So some of y'all saw the podcast. Okay. Listen, when Emmanuel Acho is talking about what he just spoke and people listen, no, those people listening are the white liberals and the corporate media. Those are institutions looking for a non-threatening black voice.
Okay, one, he has a black following. That's one thing. Two, so what? Candace Owens is the same way. Larry Elders is the same way, but instead of white liberals, they got the white conservatives. So what's the difference? That's how it always been.
Those institutions, they bypass foundational black American voices on purpose. They fully understand that non-FBA melanated people are seen as more safe. They understand that these non-FBAs like Emmanuel Acho is going to be less likely to challenge white supremacy power structures in any meaningful way. They know that. They know that they're going to promote pacification or bootstrap narrative, which is what he does. You know, Emmanuel Acho, he buck dances it up.
You still haven't explained why does that mean he can't speak for black America and black Americans. You still have not illustrated or articulated why he can't speak. Him being, he could be everything you say he is. That does not preclude him from speaking. It does not. Because again, you're not explaining why he can't speak. What cultural boundary is he violating? What is the cultural boundary that black people have that he is stepping over by speaking on certain things or speaking at all? Like, you got to name that. Not who's backing him, what line is he violating? Because there's a lot of black people who are speaking for black people or in leadership positions or quote unquote leadership positions who are only there because they've been propped up by other groups.
Oh, he's one of them. What about black on black crime? He's one of them kind. So yeah, no. Of course they're going to listen to him because they're going to place him in a position to speak. Yeah, because see, misrepresentation that leads to misallocation of resources. See, when you get these non-FBAs misrepresenting us and misrepresenting the needs of foundational black Americans, see, then we start seeing policies and resources and initiatives.
You still didn't explain anything. Like, again, this is just an empty, nonsensical diatribe. You have to explain why he can't speak. What line is he crossing? The whole, well, he promotes bootstrapism, he be buck dancing. There are plenty of Native Black Americans who do that same thing. And their behavior would lead to the same misrepresentation and misallocation of resources that you're crying about. So, again, what cultural line is he violating?
Initiatives being watered down and misdirected and then co-opted. You see, we get the negative stigma while everybody else gets all the benefits. See, we get the negative stigma of DEI programs. See, the stigma is thrown on us that there are these black people somewhere getting these unearned advantages based on race. It's like a reverse racism trope that's thrown on us, and that's not the truth whatsoever. These DEI programs, the people who benefit are immigrant, white, T women, and other people like that. We don't really benefit from those things. You see?
Not true, but I'm gonna let you keep going. And even if, again, if that was true, how does that preclude him from speaking for black people? You're just naming a bunch of grievances about why you feel he shouldn't speak, but you have not shown that he's violating some cultural norm by speaking. Like, you know how, like, in families, if certain families, kids are to be seen, not heard, and a kid talking, being in grown folk business is violating some type of cultural norm, and that's a problem. While in some households it don't work like that. Like, show me the cultural norm that he is violating by speaking. Because again, the stuff that you're accusing him of saying, there are plenty of Native Black Americans who say that. So your issue with him would have to be taken up with them as well. But you must show me the cultural line he is violating. You're not doing it. You're talking. You've been talking for like what? 7 minutes now, 6 minutes now. And it's just empty rhetoric.
And lineage-based justice, it requires lineage-based voices. We don't need non-FBA speaking on things that was done to our lineage because they water that stuff down. And they do things to undermine it.
We don't need uneducated people who effectively stopped learning in the 3rd grade and didn't make it out the 9th grade speaking for our people, like you, Tariq, who are getting 6th grade words wrong. You're using the word lineage wrong. Why would we have you speaking for us when you can't even use a 6th grade word right? A 7-letter 6th grade word right.
Because there's a track record of these non-FBAs who try to act as spokespersons. They go in there and deliberately undermine things that are supposed to be for us.
And there's a track record of non quote unquote FBAs going in there speaking for black people and getting things done. Like Shirley Chisholm, like Constance Baker Motley, like Malcolm X, like Martin, not Martin Luther, like Jaime Belafonte, like Kwame Ture, like Obama, like Kamala, who else? Like Marcus Garvey, like Arthur Schonsberg, the list go on. And if you want to weigh those people you're talking about versus what the people I just named did versus those people you're talking about, what they did, because watch, you're not going to name anybody. My list outweighs that list by a million miles. Excuse me, I said a million miles. By a million tons. But I'm going to let you keep going.
That's why a lot of them are critical and dismissive of foundational Black American delineation. You understand? They reject the idea of specificity in Black struggles.
He still didn't name anybody. He made a claim and didn't back it up. Not one with one name.
So they try to push this Pan-African umbrella, and they know that's going to dilute our foundational Black American demand. So people just repeatedly misrepresent us, and we're tired of it. We don't want nobody else misrepresenting us. I'm at
Who's tired of it? Who is we? Because again, like I just said, Kamala Harris, Democratic nominee, front runner for 2028 because of black people. So who is this we? Who is this we you talking about? Barack Obama, still the most popular black person in America. Who is this we? Who is this we?
Point, I don't want no non-FBA speaking for us in any type of political situation. None. I don't want none. I don't want no more Obamas. I don't want another Kamala Harris.
And who are you to say you don't want that? Because the black people want that. See, you saying you don't want it. You're and like you said before, Tariq, you said you're not a leader, right? So who cares what you want? Who cares what you want? You're not a leader. You're nobody. That's according to you. You're not a leader. You're not nobody's spokesperson or anything like that. So who cares what you want? And the community can speak for itself. That's what you said, right? Well, the community spoke it, and they want Obama. They want Kamala.
don't want no Eric Holder. I don't want no Colin Powell. None of them. None of these people. They have been the congressional black.
Oh yeah, you see, look, you naming people. Eric Holder, Colin Powell. But we're going to let you keep going.
Caucus that needs to be stripped of tethers. That's where I am right now.
Tether is a slur. Again, he just calling anybody with black immigrant ancestry a tether. And he keeps saying that's where he's at right now. You're your own person who speak for yourself. Who cares what you want? Like you said, black people don't need leaders. Well, we don't need leaders. Well, we chose with our own mind to keep having the Barack Obamas, to keep having the Kamala Harrises, to keep having the Colin Powells, and keep having the Eric Holders around. We chose with our own mind to make the Congressional Black Caucus look the way it looks. So who are you to go against the grain? Shut up.
We've had misrepresentation by all of these people. It hasn't worked, ladies and gentlemen. It simply has not worked. That's the reality. And we see the contempt they have. Y'all remember a few
So Obama didn't work with Obamacare that gave 1 out of every 4 black people health insurance. Something that racists want gone to this day because they see it as a programmatic giveaway to black people. Constance Baker Motley, who has more civil rights W's than anybody else, didn't do anything for black people. Like let's talk. But I'm gonna let you keep talking.
weeks ago, I talked about this on one of my other broadcasts. There was this woman who got fired because she made a Charlie Kirk comment that was deemed insensitive. And she worked for the government. And she was a Jamaican woman working for the government out here. And she worked in the civil rights division. So she worked as a civil rights attorney or something with the federal government. Now, this was very interesting because then we looked at her tweets and she had a bunch of anti-Black American tweets, especially against black men. Oh, she had just tweet after tweet after tweet going back years talking about how Black American men ain't shit. Black man ain't this, all.
I don't remember that. I remember you showing a tweet about a woman complaining about about black men in America. She didn't specify which black men she was talking about. I think I remember something to that effect. But I'm gonna let you keep going. And that black woman right there that was a lawyer from the Civil Rights Department. Let's say, for example, everything you said was true. Her doing that don't outweigh the benefits of what Constance Baker Motley did when she worked in civil rights as a lawyer. What she did as being the first black woman to be a federal judge. It don't outweigh that. Like we not throwing away that accomplishment because we mad about that. What somebody else did who don't have those type of accomplishments. That's called throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We can be smart and use our brain and say that person is bad. We don't have to demagogue and be xenophobes and say black immigrants are bad. That's the same thing racist white people do to black people. A white person do something wrong, he's bad. a black person do something wrong, black people are bad. You're doing the same thing,
Black man, oh, I love
and it must stop.
me a white zaddy. Oh, zaddy, zaddy, zaddy. She was a zaddy worshiping bedwench who denigrated black men nonstop, and she was Jamaican. And these are the people that are put in positions to represent us. You understand that this is why we don't get anything. And speaking of that, speaking of the Jamaicans, we see how the Jamaicans feel with all of this hurricane talk.
Okay, I think he's done with Emmanuel right now. So I'm gonna end this video here. It's going on long enough. Thank you for watching to the end. If you watched to the end, make sure you like this video, share this video, comment on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, donate to me if you can, PayPal, Cash App, or the super thanks. You can donate to me just because you want to support the channel, or you can donate to me if you want me to make something particular for you. Do not use the super thanks if you don't want your comment to be seen. Also, I have channel memberships. You can join the channel and check out all the perks of being a member of my channel. You can email me, follow me on all my social media sites. My DMs is open, so if you want to DM me or tell me something, I'll look into it. And on that note, family, peace.